Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Onechanbara. I'm your host TPC Gamer, and in our last episode... well, I think this text wall explains everything quite handily, but the short version is that a couple of goons got the drop on us, beat us up, and stole our blood. Because... reasons. Now this is a major stumbling block on the game's part, and it's a pretty big one. Maybe enough to put people off playing the rest of the game, I think. I mentioned in the last video, the first time you play through this game, you begin with a fully powered Aya and Saki. But at this point, in your first run, you lose all your powers, and you have to do-over. But the enemies are still harder, and there are way more of them in this stage than there are in the previous ones. It's really not nice being a paper tiger, especially when the game gets you used to being an actual tank, and especially when the appeal of this kind of gameplay is that you're a one-man army. You know, I am a massive metal walking beacon of faith and fury given form. And also apathy, because there's a loading screen coming up, and forget killing any of the guys on the loading screen. Alrighty. The first time you play the game, you are given the prompt to hit the left trigger. LT is your stance change button, and with Aya, it means she draws her second sword. That she has always had, you guys. Now, the dual sword style makes Aya stronger, and it gives her a longer and more elaborate cool combo at the cost of cutting her speed. One major difference, this stance doesn't have knives, we have this cleave move. Or is it a rending move? I really don't know anymore. Thanks, 4th edition. Witty and topical. Okay, no. It's possible to combo in and out of the dual sword style, but you can only do it after every 3rd strike of the cool combo, but only if you keep the cool combo going, and you don't do a unique move like the Stinger or the Emperor stance. And I can't get my head around that, which is why you'll probably never see me doing anything that technical and I just hit the attack button and mash it out. It's also worth noting, and something I probably should have said before, I changed outfits for this one. Aya is wearing her Legacy outfit, which is the red-green bikini from the PS2 games, which she is also wearing on this game's box art for some reason. Don't know why they didn't catch that. It's kind of a cheap thing, really. They released the game for a budget price, but half the characters and most of the outfits are locked unless you buy the DLC, thus bringing you up to about the shelf price for a standard game. Or you just buy the game on the cheap and pick up the DLC now it's free. I mean, that's what I did, because I'm tight. I mean, I'm good with money. Sometimes. Alright, we're back. I forgot what I was talking about. Those loading screens are friggin' obnoxious, I tell you what. And, you know, it's about the biggest problem that I have with this game, because it is a major break in the game flow. And it gets pretty bad, too, because there's this one point where the game loads an entire area, only to funnel you through a door immediately beside you, so it can unload it and load another area. Twice. And with those 3 loading screens, you get maybe 2 minutes of gameplay, to 2 minutes of loading, excuse me, to not even 5 seconds of gameplay. And that's another thing that breaks the flow. If you get too close to a locked door, then you get a message telling you it's locked, and you have to break your combo to get out of it. Though, incidentally, I did go back and look at the big garage door from the last episode, the big gaping hole. If you try to go through the apparently locked garage door, it does give you the generic, "the door is locked" message. They could have come up with something more fitting, right? You know, this held by an evil force. Also, running towards the camera is really cool, but I don't know that it works in this game. Whoa! Do you see? Man, would it be so hard to just put the camera behind you by default? I mean, there is a button to make it snap too, but I reckon you could set it up to make it run like that by default, surely. Oh, hey, something I really like about this room. Killing those zombies was entirely unnecessary, because the key item was just in a box on the floor, right there. Alright, back this way. I don't know, like, what room I'm heading for necessarily, just that I am going in this direction. Although a neat little touch, the fact that we just now went upstairs, we probably started in the morgue. I mean, that's what they keep in the basement, right? I played Silent Hill, I know the score. Okay, now this room introduces the Mudman enemy. As you've seen, you can't kill him with regular moves, so you have to do one of 5 special options. You can use the Stinger, which is the move you saw just now. Aya makes the precise strike to pull out his heart. You can use your suicide attack. I don't recommend doing that. You can attack him while you're berserk, or you can do a move called the Swallow Dance. Saki can do the 5th option, and only Saki can do the 5th option. And we'll get to that when we get to it, because it's one of my favourite things in the whole game. When I'm using Aya, though, I like to do the Stinger, because it's the most convenient thing to do. The suicide attack drains your health, and I rarely go berserk, so the Sting is the easiest option. Oh, and would you look at that! It's the entirety of Aya's one-sword cool combo. I can never do that. Glad I got it on camera. While talking, counterintuitively. Try to work that one out. So yeah, no. The Sting is the most convenient, but the most risky. You can't tell from seeing it, but the command involves waiting a beat before hitting the 4th attack, and not attacking doesn't sit well with me with this game. And there you go! Okay, so if you've seen the first game, you'll know that it's doubly tricky to do the Stinger. I'm very close to being berserk, so excuse me while I fix that a moment. You can tell how close to being berserk you are by the character portrait down there. The more red it is, the more close to being berserk you are. Mine was pulsing red, and that's pretty bad. Enough to make me forget the basic rules of grammar, apparently. Right, no, the Stinger. Hard to do because it involves tilting the stick forward and hitting attack, which is the same command as the lunge, so the game likes to decide you actually wanted to do that instead. Though there is enough fodder standing around, you'll usually hit something. Collateral damage is still damage, as I'm sure they say somewhere. Am I going the right way? Yes, I am. Okay, I'm going to do a bit of crowd control, and, well, kind of counterintuitively, do something that I recently took measures to not do. But I am British. I'm able to go back on my word like it's nothing. It's part of my class traits. You know, that and knowing a rather inordinate amount about boxing. Okay, you can die. And that thing one in the back can live, tell everyone else what it saw. I'm going to equip this guy. Aya is now permanently berserk until I unequip what I just put on. Now when you're berserk, you do double the damage, you have a significantly higher chance of breaking guard with your sword, and you can take down enemies that are normally invincible without doing special attacks. I mean, look at this. Do you see how quickly these enemies are just gone? It's fantastic. Oh yeah, but your sword can still get stuck, so don't be a plonker like I am and forget to clean your blade. Okay, there we go. I just cut a 5-minute endurance gauntlet to, what was that, under a minute? I don't know. I'm not looking at my timer as much in this game. And really, neither should you. There are more interesting things to see. Oh yeah, the main disadvantage of going berserk is you take about 3-4 times the damage you normally would, so double-edged sword, you know? So this is Anna. 3 N's. The extra N is for not sure why we decided to spell her name with 3 N's. And that extra N is for me not being able to speak properly. remarkably light on her feet, wouldn't you say? Whoa! Was that angle strictly necessary, game? I feel like I need an adult. Or several chemical showers. Okay, that is the exact opposite of keeping quiet. You're bad at this. I love how that box has nothing in it. It's just like a basic box object to be cut in half. Yeah, we just killed those guys. We should probably get out of here. Dun 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 dun. No, seriously, you could tell they would license that if they could, right? And we're back. So this is Saki's legacy outfit, the same one she wore for the last game. But before any of that, I'm going to show off Anna. Whoa, easy now. So, as you can see, Anna doesn't use swords, and instead, she uses guns. It's great on the easier difficulties, but on hard and higher, it's not that great. I mean, you can see we're up to, what was that, a 60-hit combo, but with 5 kills? That's pretty bad. Her ecstasy gauge does build pretty quickly though, so that's handy. And if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to grab this EXP, because I didn't level Anna nearly as much as I did the other two. Alright, briefly introduced this in the last video, but you can unlock bracelets, which allow certain characters to do certain things. And, there we go. I'm going to give Anna the piercing bracelet, which lets her bullets pass through enemies rather than stopping on impact. And I'm also going to show off her stance change, which swaps her pistols for a shotgun SMG combo. It's great for close range combat, especially if you need some breathing room, but again, it's not great on the harder difficulty settings. Although this SMG is good for racking up combos, mind you. So, overall, Anna is not my favourite character in this game, so let's switch back. Probably for the best, because there's a bit coming up, and you need Saki to do it. Okay, so this area is another basic tutorial. Just like the one Aya did in the previous level, you have to kill all the mudmen to continue. And these fodder enemies they'll just keep spawning in until you do. It's pretty great though, because it lets me show off one of my favorite things in the whole game. Okay, you ready for this? Kyofu no Ken! Yeah! Oh, I am so glad I did that on my first try. So that move is called the Fist of Dread. And it's named after a particular Judge Dredd panel where he just punched clean through some guy's head. And who is shooting at me? Is it you? I don't care. You will serve as a good enough lesson to the others. While we're at it, so will you. And another example of how obnoxious these guys can be with their blocking sometimes. Right there. But luckily, you can combo in and out of the kick animation pretty easily, and the kick always breaks an enemy's guard. And I think that's all the mudmen, so now it's basic crowd control until the gates go away. I think. Very hard to tell with this game sometimes. And while I can afford to, I'm going to show off this move. That's the suicide move. And it hits, and I think kills, every non-boss enemy in the immediate vicinity at the cost of removing a percentage of your health. You can heal up though, so that's okay. It's also necessary to heal if you want the accessories and achievements, because one of them involves using the suicide attack enough times in a single mission to kill yourself 3 times over. Yeah, the achievement system in this game kinda hates you. And that's enough screwing around, let's push on. Anna is kind of a lot more technical than I'm playing her, because she does have 4 extra abilities that, frankly, you're not going to see in this playthrough because they are really hard to do. She can fire forwards and backwards at the same time, fire left and right at the same time, she can lie on her back and fire from a low prone position, and she can also do a 360 sweep with the machine gun. The trouble is that you have to use the joystick to indicate which direction you want to fire, which... Okay, I mean, you probably have a game controller handy. Try it yourself. You know, see how easy it is and how intuitive it is to snap the left stick back and forth. I mean, it doesn't flow well, especially when everybody else's combo is really, really smooth. Oh yeah, you can kick and slap, but really they're even more useless than the guns. And you can't combo those moves into anything. I honestly think they are mostly used to stagger an enemy, so you can clear some space and reload. Is there another wave? Ah, yes there is. Good. I'm going to do this. So this is Anna's ecstasy move. 100 bullets. And it's great for clearing a single column, but, well, as you can see, when the enemies get out the way, you're just threatening the scenery. Although, incidentally, there is an achievement that requires Anna to shoot 1, 10, and 100,000 bullets in a single stage. Her special is the best way to do it. You know, that and having way too much time on your hands. Oh, never mind. More fodder just arrived. Man, I friggin' love this game, and this is why. I think the proper term for this format is character action game, but I prefer one-man army game because that is just how I feel. Oh, I got it wrong. That's what I get for talking to you guys. There is a move where Saki either pulls the arm right off, or forces the enemy's gun to their head and has them pull the trigger while she watches. Like I said before, she is an adorable little psychopath. Get up! That's close enough. And that should be it for this area. Oh, this should be it for this area then. But yeah, this game, Dynasty Warriors, EDF, I love those games. It's great being the cannon that kills the mosquito, you know? I didn't have a power complex. Shut up. Probably good I picked it up, actually. See how I'm dripping with gore? If we get too bloody, then we go berserk. And I don't want to do that, so I'm going to use this holy statue to clean up. You can also pick up fragments of the holy statues that you can use from the inventory for a one-time heal. You've seen me do that a couple times. And what else? Well, there are a bunch of other items, but I rarely use any of them. Save for the bracelets, which, again, you've already seen. So this is a loading screen. So, see you on the other side. Really, game? That's where you're going with this? Recycling bosses as early as level 4? It's not that bad. I mean, there is 2 of them. And this should be the first time you fight them with Anna, so... You get a pass, but just barely. Okay, I think I'm building enough steam. Should be able to do my... Should be able to get knocked right out of my combo. Thank you, game. So anyway, that is Saki's ecstasy move, the Blade Beam. She did have that attack in the first 2 games, but here it's only used as a special attack, not a standard one. With the exception of the wrestling moves, Saki plays a lot more like Aya than she did in the PS2 games, and that wasn't smart. Thankfully I can do this. And everybody loves a bit of this. Yeah! There is no problem that you can't just kill your way out of. I learned that from watching Dexter. And thank goodness for the overly long death animations, because Aya can pick up the XP for that kill. You know, once I'm done getting kicked around. I was going to say she can pick up the scraps of this kill as well, but she's not doing very well at that. Alright. What's my reward? It is... EXP. That'll do. Okay, you see how leveled up Saki is, and I have points to spare? That's how much time and effort I put into leveling up and getting good. Obviously, there are Anna's stats, which are nowhere near as fleshed out. It's understandable, I don't use her much. She is in the upper tier though, so she can take on most of what comes for her. Game? Oh, there we go. Take your time, why not? Alright, I think that will do for now, so join us next time when we see what Aya's getting up to. And until next time, goodbye!